Welcome back to War Thunder and welcome aboard the British Hornet Mark III, which is the end-of-the-line heavy fighter for the British with a battle rating of 5.7, and it comes after the Brigand B1, which sits at a battle rating of 4.7. And I want to compare both of them, but before that I have to apologize because of my voice, because I'm very sick. I do my best to sound reasonable, okay-ish I guess, but sorry if I record this with my voice being down and my nose being, not free. So the Hornet Mark III, 5.7, one battle rating higher than the Brigand B1, both are fantastic aircraft, and when we talk about the weaponry, it's getting interesting. The placement is the same, under the fuselage, so a bit weird to aim, however I kind of am okay with it. But then the Brigand. The Brigand has 4 Hispano Mark V cannons with 800 rounds of ammunition, whereas the Hornet has 4 Hispano Mark IIs with 600 rounds. And you feel the difference in the long run of a battle. You run out of ammunition a lot, and you cannot do those spray shots at long range that you're used to with fully upgraded Hispanos. And fully upgraded, the Hispanos are amazing, but stock, they are debatable, to say the least. So what makes the Hornet a great fighter or a heavy fighter? What's bad about it, and what's the footage in the background? So the footage in the background is from my spading process, and I didn't expect anything of this plane after the first battle, because I thought, oh god, this is awful, because the second before I died, because I didn't pay attention, I started from the runway, by the way, and didn't pay attention, was caught at low speed, and this plane turns insanely bad when caught at low speed, so below 300, 400 kilometers an hour. Above that, so 500 to 600, it is kind of average, I guess, and above that, 700 to 750, it's just really great. And the climb rate is really good for a heavy fighter, especially because you have the interceptor air spawn, which benefits this plane greatly, because it's not just that you have initially a great climb rate, but you keep the climb rate. So yeah, you go up to altitudes where you meet the enemy in an advantageous position, and you can actually accelerate to attack speed, so you kind of avoid the head-on and just zoom up and then turn around. So it's kind of like a Focke-Wulf in this respect. However, it gets in the favorable position much earlier. In fact, I outclimbed always any sort of German fighter. TARS, Do 335s, to name the kind of at the same battle rating interceptors of the Germans, which also benefit from the air spawn. I outclimbed them massively, and I have much better high altitude performance. If I can take my speed with me, I can also kind of outmaneuver them. But you are actually maneuvering so bad at low speeds, you have to really be really careful with it. So it's not like a straightforward Japanese heavy fighter in this respect. Don't confuse it. However, because you are in the British tech tree, it's really good. You intercept a lot of the Russian heavy bombers, if you meet any of them, which is kind of rare, but you meet a lot of the American heavy bombers, B-29s, B-24s, B-17Gs on Hokkaido, for example, and you can climb directly into them, go into a head-on, snipe the pilots, go for the wingtips, you name it, and you do not need that much ammunition if you do it properly. And most American bomber pilots are unaware that they can do actually evasive actions. It might not save them ultimately in every single case, but they do not even try. They're just AFK flying towards the bombing zone and try their luck. And you are benefiting both yourself with getting those kills and your teammates, because Spitfires are vulnerable much more to 50 cals than you are, because you have 2 engines. One engine very often gets set on fire or gets damaged and dies relatively quickly, but the second one is really powerful. So you kind of have this going for you. I think To describe it, I use it as a fighter, bomber hunter, and I actually really like the performance overall. At high speeds, it performs really nice, keeps the energy retention, you can accelerate, your top speed is great, your climb rate is good, everything that you really want from a competitive heavy fighter. And is it comparable to the F7F? I guess so, but the F7F has definitely the advantage at lower speeds. I wouldn't really try, because both heavy fighters do not really perform to their strength when caught at low speeds, which you should avoid. And I think this is a good trainer for other nations' jets. Keep your speed, go for altitude, use your advantage and never lose it. So this is the main message. Other than this, I guess that's everything that you can round up this plane with. So while we watch some really nice gameplay in the background from the Hornet, I actually came up with the idea of changing my art style here on the channel, you know, the channel banner. And I was thinking about also some intros for different kinds of videos in the range of something between 5 to 12 seconds, you know, an intro that's really crispy, really clear, not boring, not repetitive. And I want different intros. So if I fly aircraft, I want to have a different intro. For my average tank gameplay, I want a different one. My tank reviews really deserve their own intro. And then maybe for the upcoming ships, if we then have some really nice footage. How I want to do it, I have absolutely no idea. It's just an idea that I carried with me for quite some time, and I think this is as good of a chance as any to bring it to the community. I might have mentioned it in the Duck Talks, but not everybody is watching my Duck Talks. Well, who is actually watching my videos these days? You know, they're kind of too average. Not clickbaity enough. So yeah, also maybe for some thumbnails, some really nice overlay, and also my channel picture, you know, this N with a circle around, which I really love. It might deserve some high definition replacement. If you guys really have something in mind, let me know, contact me, and we will see how it goes. I cannot give you anything for it. It's just an idea that popped into my mind. And the reason for this is because whenever I try to do an intro, whenever I try to make a new overlay or something like this, it always turned out to be horrible. And you know, at this point in time, I'm approaching, you know, over 6,000 subscribers. You know, in the near future, to the end of the year, I guess I might see 7,000. It's possible, you know. If I do some clickbait videos, you might get 8,000, but you know. Jokes aside, I simply want to raise a little bit the standard of my channel from the raw look of it, because I guess a lot of people just look at the intro of my videos and say, boring, it's just a picture, and that's already turning them off because they're used to kind of those long fancy intros, and so my content doesn't even have the chance, and you know, it just looks a little bit nicer, I hope so, in the future. Yeah, so there is that. Going back to the gameplay, the first battle that you saw was against the Soviets, where I just rushed in and I dove from over 5,000 meters downwards, and I did the braking maneuver and just went head-on with everything. I gladly traded my life for those 4 quick kills. We actually won this battle relatively fast, so it's a good trade-off. I mean, the only thing that I didn't get was extra money out of it, but it doesn't really matter. I'm using the stealth belt, by the way, not the target belt, because I think I get more out of the diversity to have a single AP belt in the an AP round in the belt, for more situations when there is just one pillbox left, or when there is just one enemy light tank left, when I need to smack the engine of a heavy bomber because I'm low on ammunition or something like this. You know, the AP round is just more reliable than the the HE rounds. So there is that. The second gameplay was actually quite a long battle, where I actually also restarted, which I don't show you. But initially my engine was taken out by a Japanese plane. I was left with just one engine, and still I managed to escape 2 German planes, which eventually gave up. And then I killed 2 Japanese Kia-84s, and that was not just deeply satisfying, but just showed me how decent the plane is, even with one engine in the stages, so you can even relatively comfortably fly back to the airfield. So I really like this plane. I will finish the grind soon, and I think this was the video worth showing it. Please remember to think about some art style for my channel. If you have interest, just contact me via Discord. And yeah, that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other in the skies of War Thunder.